Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about how to solve systems using substitution. Now by now you should have already solved systems using graphing. And in this example here, when I have both equations in y equals form, it's very easy to graph. So the best plan is to solve using graphing when they're both in y equals form. I could also use substitution with that one, but it makes more sense to graph it. Now when I look at this one, I have one equation in y equals form and one in standard form. So it makes more sense in this case, because I already know what y is worth. Y is worth 3x plus 8. I can use that and substitute it in the second equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2x plus 5 times the quantity 3x plus 8. And that's because I see above right here that y is also, that's what equals to means, is also 3x plus 8. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring my 2x down, and then I'm going to use the distributive property. So 5 times 3x is 15x, and 5 times 8 is 40, and that all equals 6. And then I'm going to combine like terms. So 2x plus 15x is 17x plus 40 equals 6. Okay? And now I need to solve for this x, so I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. And I end up with 17x equals negative 34. Then I'm going to go ahead and divide by 17, so x equals negative 2. But I'm not done. My solution needs to be an ordered pair, so that now that I know x is equal to negative 2, I'm going to come back to this equation up here and I'm going to say y equals 3 times negative 2 plus 8. And when I do this problem, I get negative 6 plus 8, which is positive 2. So y equals positive 2. So my final answer is the ordered pair negative 2, comma 2. Just for good measure, I'm going to double check. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 5 times positive 2 is 10. Negative 4 plus 10 is positive 6. So it works for both equations. Let's take a look at another one. In this case, I know what x is worth. So I'm going to replace x with 2y minus 7. So here we go. I'm going to write 4. And instead of x, I'm going to write 2y minus 7. And the reason why is I want to have just one variable. So I'm replacing one variable with what I know its relationship is to the other variable. And that equals negative 3. Again, I'm going to use my distributive property. 4 times 2y is 8y. And 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. Bring down the minus 3y. And that equals negative 3. I'm going to combine like terms, so I'm going to combine the 8y and the negative 3y, and that gives me 5y minus 28 equals negative 3. I'm then going to add 28 to both sides, and that gives me 5y is equal to 25. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. Y equals 5. Not done yet. I now need to replace this into this equation up here. So x is equal to 2 times 5, because remember, down here I solve y is equal to 5, minus 7. So x equals 10 minus 7, which is 3. So now you have to be very careful. Remember, your order pair is x comma y. So my x is 3 and my y is 5. For good measure, let's double check. 4 times 3 is 12. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. 12 minus 15 is negative 3. It works. Okay, last practice one. Now this one's a little tricky because, it's not one variable by itself, and then I have this one in standard form. But I can very quickly get one variable by itself in this one if I divide everything by 2. If I divide everything by 2, then I end up with y equals 2x plus 3. And now I can use that information and substitute it into this equation. So let me type so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to do 3x because I'm not replacing x. And I'm going to do 4 times the quantity, 2x plus 3. And that equals 1. I'm going to bring down the 3x. I'm going to use my distributive property. 4 times 2x is 8x. And 4 times 3 is 12. And that's going to equal 1. I'm going to combine like terms. 3x plus 8x is 11x. Plus 12 equals 1. I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides. 11x equals negative 11. Therefore, x equals negative 1. Now that I know that, I'm going to replace it. To be careful, I should always replace into one of my original equations. So I'm going to do 2y equals 4 times negative 1, because that's what x is worth, plus 6. So 2y is equal to negative 4 plus 6. So 2y is equal to negative 2. I'm sorry, positive 2. I need to work on my integers there. Therefore, y equals 1. So my final answer is negative 1, comma 1. And for good measure, I'm going to check in the second equation. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 4 times 1 is 4. Negative 3 plus 4 is positive 1. Now I'm just going to give you a heads up what the next video will be about. The next one's going to be linear combination. And that works best when both equations are in standard form. So I have an x lined up with an x, a y lined up with a y, and a plane with a plane. I hope you check out the next video.